Today was an insane day for the stock market. We seen Apple go parabolic. We broke past that 250 level right away and kept going up for most of the day until like 11:20, and then we kind of just consolidating. And honestly, man, I think we might potentially close above that 255. We still have around 2 hours left of market, and honestly, man, NVIDIA is another one that went parabolic. I was actually scoping out a play earlier, kind of at the lows of like 175. And honestly, I was going to do like a month out for a 180 play. But honestly, right as I was looking at that, a deal came out. And basically, NVIDIA is going to invest $100 billion in OpenAI. And this deal came out, and we honestly got it kind of early, but I wasn't really expecting NVIDIA to move that much, honestly. But with that being said, we see NVIDIA move up a decent amount. Honestly, man, from 175.5 to all the way to 183.5. That is an insane move. And honestly, some plays did 1,000%. This is a play that I missed out on. I did get into Apple today. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later, and some supports and resistance. And we do have SPY at all-time highs, new all-time highs to say. We also seen gold. Gold had a big break up to the upside, making some new all-time highs, 3.750. And honestly, man, we could potentially make a breakup maybe to 3,800, and honestly potentially see gold at $4,000 very, very soon. With that being said, man, gold does move up a decent amount and has been rallying a decent amount as well. With that being said, we do see like a big push upwards like we're seeing now, and a bit of a consolidation and another push upwards. So it's never too late to get into gold, but then sometimes we could see minor pullbacks that brings it down a decent amount. But if you see another pullback, you could potentially get back into it and honestly ride it up again. So if we do start selling off, I will be looking at that 37.40 level to load back up for my GLD plays, because I have been playing some longs in GLD, and honestly, it hits pretty well. With that being said, some other plays, man, I call out all my plays on my X account. I give out news early, and if you guys want, you guys can go follow me if you guys want to get into the plays that I make. And honestly, man, you guys don't want to miss out, because today our Apple plays hit 100%, which is insane. But basically, some news over the weekend and on Friday. So Friday, they launched their iPhone 17. And honestly, man, the numbers were kind of great, kind of better than last year. And honestly, man, Apple jumps 4.3% as iPhone 17 demand soars 10 to 15% above last year's iPhone 16 model. So that was pretty good. We also seen a price raise target to $310, a 21% upside as production increases 30% for the base model. Shipping times extend to 18 days versus 10 days for the iPhone 16. And honestly, man, Apple has just been going parabolic. And honestly, I feel like we got some more room to move to the upside. If we go into the daily time frame, we do see the highs of 260, so we can potentially test that 260. Honestly, man, with this rally, I'm not even gonna lie. I was kind of seeing, or kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if we did hit 260 today, but we did kind of start slowing down towards the end. We got to like 256.5, and then we started selling off right after that. 255 was also a big level that was on watch because there's a bunch of sellers there. But honestly, man, we broke right past it and honestly got up to 256.5. With that being said, for tomorrow and for the rest of the day, I will be looking at that 256.5 level. If we could break above that, we could potentially get 258, 258.5, and 260. If we could break above 260, we got some more room to run. And honestly, Apple is one of those stocks that, honestly, from those April lows, it was moving pretty slow, but I've been bullish overall. My long-term account is up like $20,000, and that is insane. And that's just on Apple. My average for Apple is $200. And honestly, this is one that honestly, I'm very, very pumped that I got into it. With that being said, I might low-key sell my long-term at 260 and just wait for a better time to load up, just because I have like $40,000 in Apple, and my portfolio only has like $120,000. So, if you do the math, that's not really good diversification. But with that being said, man, Apple, NVIDIA, some other chip stocks like AMD, we've seen AMD push up a decent amount, but honestly, it's kind of consolidating. But we did have a big push when AMD went, or when NVIDIA went up. Broadcom also had a big push to the upside, but then we started selling off a decent amount. So Broadcom, you can look at it to the downside, and you look at the lows of like 337, and honestly potentially play it lower. Some other ones, CoreWeave, we got CoreWeave doing pretty good as well. And honestly, it pushed up right after that NVIDIA deal, and honestly, it's still kind of holding up pretty strong. But honestly, I think the stronger one out of this whole deal, of course, is going to be NVIDIA. And honestly, we broke past some highs. But let's go into the daily time frame to kind of look at it. But we did break past some highs, but we kind of bounced off of the high. So do look at 184.5. And if we can break above 184.5, we could potentially get 185, 186.5, 187.5, and 190 for NVIDIA. And that would be kind of insane because I remember seeing this at like in April, this stock got down to $90. You could have 100%ed on your long term if you would have loaded up. I think my average is like $110. So honestly, it's not really that big for me, but if you guys did load up in those times, that was pretty good. Tesla, I was low key scoping out a play at this level of 430, seeing how it would react. But honestly, I got in. I think I went for some coffee and I came back and it was already up. But this candle right here would have gave you guys, the right to get in. With that being said, I might wait until the end of the day, see what Tesla's at. But we could potentially retest that 440 and potentially get the 445 tomorrow. And honestly, Tesla's just in a bull run right now. A lot of people's loving it. But with that being said, man, other than looking at plays and stocks, let's get to some more news. So we do got that big NVIDIA invest 100 billion in OpenAI. Gold is up more than 40% in 2025 on pace for its best year since 1979. This is good and bad. As everybody knows, gold is a safe haven. And honestly, if gold is rallying, that doesn't really look too good overall. But honestly, with the US dollar shrinking, everybody gets into gold. We also have Google AI, Gemini. Gemini is pretty decent. I personally use Gemini, but it's coming to your TV. On Monday, company announced it's introducing Gemini for Google TV, allowing TV owners to engage in a free-flowing natural language conversation with the AI. It's kind of weird because you might just walk in on somebody talking to Gemini, but honestly, this is probably a little bit bigger and people might use it. And we also have BYD drops when Warren Buffett sold. His company sold, they fully exited $7.7 billion and they were in profits with that one. Some other things. So the economic calendar wasn't really too big. We did have some Fed people come out with some speeches that did pretty well. I think Myran says that he is calling for more rate cuts and a bigger rate cut overall. That was mainly the thing, but he said unless something changes, I will continue to press for rate cuts. I'm willing to dissent again. On Tuesday's going to be a little bit bigger because a lot of people don't really know about this, but Jerome is coming out at 12:35 p.m. So have this on your radar because honestly, man, whenever he comes out, man, it moves the market. It's not really going to be anything. It's just a speech. It's not anything related to the market or anything like that. But honestly, he might say something, but it's not anything related to rate cuts or anything like that. But we do have the PMI coming out, and this is going to be 15 minutes after market opens. So we have another speech. On Wednesday, we have new home sales, 650. And then honestly, just another speech. Thursday's going to be a little bit bigger. We have initial jobless claims. Have this on your radar. GDP is going to be big. We have trade balances, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, and a lot more existing home sales, some more speeches. But Thursday is going to be a big day, and you could potentially move as well as Friday. We got personal income, personal spending, PCE, core PCE, and then consumer sentiment final. So Thursday and Friday are going to be two big days that you want to have on your radar overall. Speaking on earnings, not really anything big this week, but we do have AutoZone before open tomorrow. We have a Micron. Micron's going to be a little bit bigger, and that's going to be after close. And then some other ones, maybe Costco. This could show the consumer overall. And some other ones, you guys can screenshot this list if you guys want it. But with that being said, man, we already kind of went through the supports and resistance. The stock market is moving pretty decent right now. I am going to have my eyes on Tesla, NVIDIA for a continuation, of course. And then, of course, Apple testing that 260, which is kind of parabolic, but I want to see if we can hold above that 255. And then also crypto in general, we did have a big fat sell-off. And honestly, the sell-off looks like it's continuing. So you can look at MSTR, IBIT, ETHA, all of those to the downside. We also have Ethereum going to the downside, and then XRP. We are getting to quarter four, and quarter four is sometimes good for crypto in general. So this could be one good time to load up. And honestly, Bitcoin, man, you can load up now, get some IBIT calls or something like that, whatever you want, however you do it for a long term. And honestly, you could probably make a decent amount of money. With that being said, though, man, follow me on X. You guys don't want to miss out on any of the plays or early news that I give you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Good luck trading. And If you guys are watching this before stock market closes, good luck and comment down below how much you guys made and what stocks you guys are watching. Peace out.